is the PCSRA Radio Network and the Blue Hedgehog TV. We now interrupt your regular scheduled programming for the following sports special. This broadcast is presented by the authority of the Motorsports Association for the private use of our audience. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the International Motorsports Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast, retransmission or other dissemination or the use of this broadcast, descriptions or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the International Motorsports Association is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to the IMSA podcast presented by Toyota. Now with the call of today's show, here's the voice of the PCSRA, Daniel Voiles.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. It is about almost 9 a.m. Central Time. We welcome you to the season finale of the IMSA podcast here on the PCSRA Radio Network, the Blue Hedgehog TV, and on the Amazing Network. So good morning to everybody. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Oklahoma, as we're excited to kick off the final episode of the IMSA podcast for the 2021 season. I just want to first off take the opportunity to say thank you all for all of you joining us for this amazing show. It's been a blast doing this show and all that. So for all of you that got to watch all the shows on the IMSA weekends that we get to recap and all that, I just want to say thank you all for your support so far. And it's going to be great. As we're getting up to the, while we're getting close, since we're getting closer to the top of the hour, let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves around the entire country. This is the IMSA podcast on the PCSRA Radio Network. Blue Hedgehog FM at Blue Hedgehog HD, Oklahoma City. Blue Hedgehog Radio Network, a product of the PCSRA. Vote the Blue Hedgehog your greatest announcer in sports. So, we're getting set for some IMSA news, and we also got a lot of news and update as far as that is concerned, so that's going to be fun. So, let's go over the class results for the Petite Le Mans that took place this Saturday. There were 43 cars that showed up. All 43 got to race, so that's good. Starting with the DPI battle, we had Harry Tinkle, Jonathan Bombardino, Oliver Jarvis win for Mazda as a great way to end Mazda's tenure in that contest. So good, congratulations to them. Ricky Taylor, Felipe Albuquerque, and Alexander Rossi ended up second. Earl Bamberg replacing Kevin Magnussen, who could not take part in the event because of, well, him being sick and all that, which we wish came back a speedy recovery. Scott Dixon, Ringer van der Zande got third. Felipe Nasser, Mike Conway, Pippo Durrani fourth. Luke Duvall, Sebastian Bourdais, Tristan Vautier got fifth. Elio Castroneves, Dean Cameron, and one. Pablo Montoya, sixth. And the only DPI that did not get to the checker flag was Simon Pagenaud, Jimmy Johnson, and Kamui Kobayashi. They had some problems with that car, so that's too bad for them. They had 7 DPIs, Daytona prototype cars. So there you go. For LMP2, Kyle Tilley, Ryan Dazzle, Dwight Marion were the winners. Congrats to them. James France, John Ferrano, Gabriel Alberly second. Completing the podium was Wayne Boyd, Guy Smith, and James McGuire. Fourth was Stephen Thomas, Tristan Nunez, and Thomas Merrill. And completing the LMP2 was Ben Keating, Mikko Jensen, and Scott Huffaker. For GT Le Mans, the final time I get to say this, Matt Campbell, Cooper McNeil, and Matthew Jaminet got the win. Congrats to them. Second, Michael Christensen, Fred Medovchik, and Kevin Estrie. Second make it a Porsche 1-2, but it was not enough for them to win the championship. John Edwards, Jesse Krohn, August Farfus got third. Connor D. Felipe, Philip Ing, Bruno Spengler fourth. Fifth was, I think it was, fifth was Alexander Sims, Tommy Miller, Nick Tandy. That was the number 4 Corvette. Let me double check. Yeah, 4 Corvette. Antonio Garcia, Jordan Taylor, Nicky Kasberg did not finish. They were involved in a huge wreck. They ran out the field, but they took the championship nevertheless, so there you go. And then finally for GT Daytona for the Daytona prototype. Want to mention the number 83, or for LMP3. Forgot to do LMP3. I'll do that now. Matej Jacobsen, Daniel Goldberg, Rasmus Lind won. Garrett Christie, Spencer Piggott, Arthur Bagalo second. Colin Brown, Jonathan Bennett, George Kurtz third. Josh Bernard, Oliver Askew, Jarrett Andretti fourth. Fifth was Tom Gamble, Andrew Mydrick, Nikas Kutin. Sixth, Josh Skelton, Matthew Bell, Navarin Rayo. That was 6, and they had 10, so this is their top 10. Todd Archer, James Vance, Match Andre 7th. 8th was Stefan Rajnik, Robio Flucker, Matthew Kevin. They finished 8th. Gar Robertson, Felipe Fraga, Scott Andrews 9th. Jim Cox, Dylan Murray, and Jerome Blikamon rounded out the LMP3 field. Now the GT Daytona classes, before I forget. Bill Oberlund, Robert Foley, Adrian Red won. Lawrence Van Voot, Lars Kern, and Zachary Rovershawn got second. Ross Gunn, Ian James, Roman DeAngelis third. Spencer Pompelli, John Potter, Andy Lally fourth. Corey Lewis, Brian Sellers, Madison Snow got fifth. Daniel Murad, Michael DeCasa, Daniel Johnsadella sixth. 7th was Michelle Barata, Michelle Goldberg, and Frank Pereira. Russell Wardfield, Ellis, Mario Engel 8th. Guy Cosmo, Stephen McEar, and Mike Skeen 9th. They were involved in that big wreck as well. Patrick Gallant, Jan Halen, Trent Hyman 10th. Catherine Legg got 11th. And Jack Hawksworth also did not finish the race. So there you go. Thoughts on this race? It was a really interesting race. I thought it was an entertaining classic, like we always do. The racing was really interesting, and yeah. So I'm gonna say this race will be as a 9.5 for the race and for the season. So there you go. Yeah. So let's go into some IMSA news. There's some IMSA news, our final IMSA news before we forget. Starting with the champions. For Daytona Prototype International, the number 10 Honda Acura, that is Wayne Taylor Motorsports, they won. Matthiasen Motorsports PR1 number 52 entry, LMP2 champions. LMP3 champions, P3 champions was the number 74 Riley Motorsports team. GT Daytona was Praft Motorsports number 9, and Corvette Racing won the final GT Le Mans championship. So, yeah. Couple of shout-outs I want to say. Hypercar Toyota number 7 was the Hypercar champion at LMP2, the number 31 WRT. Le Mans GT Pro was AF Corsa number 51. AF Corsa number 83 was the AMP champion. So, there you go. So, let's get into some news. Of course, Earl Bamberg, as I said, got an early start to his Cadillac Chip Ganassi Racing. Of course, he replaced Kevin Magnussen. So there you go. So, to IMSA news. Corvette Racing will turn its two-car IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship program into a two-program assault next season with the number 3 Corvette C8.R and drivers Antonio Garcia and Jordan Taylor. Which will move into the series' new GT Daytona Pro class, while the sister number 4 heads to the FIA World Endurance Championship GTE Pro category. So there you go. Which is really exciting. So we do wish the number 4 team good luck in that regard. NBC Sports Package for 2022. NBC Sports has announced a significant upgrade to its broadcast plans for next year's IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, with NBCSN going bye-bye. IMSA will have all of its 22 WeatherTech Championship events hosted on the big NBC network or its USA Network cable channel from the two outlets. 80 hours of program will be offered, with 12 hours reserved for NBC across the Rolex 24 at Daytona, yay, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, and also the Petit Le Mans, yay! Another significant change will also be found is the shuttering of NBC's IMSA Track Pass streaming solution. Beginning next season, NBC says its streaming service Peacock will serve as the streaming home of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, with live flag-to-flag coverage of all races airing on NBC and USA Network, as well as exclusive stream coverage for portions of the variety of endurance races, including the Rolex 24 Daytona, the 12 Hours of Sebring, the Petit Le Mans, and also including coverage of the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge and Prototype Challenge Series. NBC will present more than 100 hours of IMSA coverage next year. So there you go. Which we're definitely looking forward to, all of that in regards. Oliver Jarvis is now going to drive the number 60 Acura ARX-05 in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship for Meyer Shank Racing next season, which we're really excited to wish him good luck over there. And also, High Class Racing confirmed full IMSA LMP2 entry for 2022. Dennis Anderson and I'm trying to think this driver's first name. Let me look. Anderson Jolbach, which I think that's a Dutch driver. They are the first drivers confirmed. Full lineup will be announced in due course. So the first 2 drivers confirmed for High Class Racing for IMSA in the LMP2. IMSA is going to be really exciting so far. All right, rate the season is a 9.5 for me. So, and all that good stuff. So, final thoughts on this entire season. Final thoughts as I'm going to get ready to put a bow on this great show. And then we'll get straight into Triple P by, by recapping all the other stuff that is coming up next and all that yada, yada, yada. So, looking forward to see how this race will play out, if you know what I mean. So anyway, forgot to mention this. December holiday Chick-fil-A. They just said the December holiday on Facebook. But anyway, my final thoughts on this IMSA season, putting a bow on it, and then I'll give you a date for the next IMSA broadcast. Today, it's really sad to say goodbye to the IMSA because IMSA podcast for 2021. It's been a good year to say how amazing this show is, how amazing that the people are for this show. I believe a lot of people are really are blessed to be a part of this. You know, I'm proud to say this will be a great learning curve moving forward. Now, I will say there's some things that we're definitely going to miss. We're going to definitely miss NBCSN next year, as it'll now be on USA Network. But I think it's going to be a great tribute as far as that's concerned. So, yeah. Thank you to NBCSN as far as that is concerned, all that. So, yeah. I have some thank you notes to pass along, which this is the part of the year where it really gets emotional for me, because I love doing these shows and all that, and as I look at this great group of people who got to be, whether it's part of the show or got to join me since day one, it's been great. Special thank you to Chucky, who was here in the group home. Even though yes, it was tough saying goodbye for him, but we do wish him good luck. As well as other people, like Jack and all them. So thank you to those guys, for what they've done so far. And also to the amazing people, Zachary Taylor and Nathan Orman. Thank you to my two famous brothers who got to join us on this amazing journey. Zachary Fitzwater, Jackie Tang, Alex Hawkins, Dennis Stats Kelly, and all those good people, and of course, Brad Lewis running the show for us in the IMSA Podcast Network studios so far. So, my friends, that's going to conclude the 2021 installment of the IMSA Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and also got some thank yous to pass along so far. Before I say my thank yous and all that, thank you to Toby, Daryl, CJ, Steven, Brian, also for letting me have this amazing studio, and it's been a blessing so far to me. Chevrolet has also been a great sponsor for the IMSA Podcast, and same with Toyota and all that good stuff so far. The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is a proud sponsor of OU Athletics and the IMSA Podcast, as well as Triple P. And we always want to remind you that drinking and driving is deadly and illegal. Together we can end DUI, and visit enduyok.com to learn more. Finally, from me to all of you, I know it was really a rocky adventure, with how last year ended. The magic was something we missed. It was really a very exciting time, but to all the people who've worked really hard and all that, we want to say thank you so much for all that so far. So the 2021 IMSA Podcast comes to a great close and a great conclusion. And we can't thank you all so much for joining us. We're definitely looking forward to seeing you for the 2022 IMSA Podcast season. That will be January 17th. However, a time of when that show will go live is yet to be determined, because I am going to be working in the morning, so I do not know when I'm going to get it recorded. I will probably record it on a Friday, so that way it will go up on Monday. So we're definitely looking forward to that, and it should be a lot of fun. So, IMSA Podcast friends, until we see you again in 2022, I say my favorite sentence: Boomer Sooner, everybody. And for those of you who are ready for the Triple P show, it's coming up next. But first, a word from our amazing sponsors for the final time for the IMSA Podcast.
On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, IMSA Podcast has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by Chevrolet. Thanks for joining us for the IMSA Podcast. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation on the PCSRA Sports Network. Copyright 2021 by the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association and the International Motorsports Association Incorporates.
And now to Triple P.
This broadcast is presented by the authority of the Motorsports Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast, descriptions, or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the Motorsports Association is prohibited. On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to the PCSRA Paddock Pass Show. We're glad that you're here to start a new journey of the PCSRA as the chase for the 2021 championships begin. Welcome to the PCSRA Paddock Pass on the PCSRA Radio Network as we get ready to bring you all the racing for the 2021 season. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage all of you fans that together we can end DUI. Now, for the greatest show on earth from today's episode of the PCSRA Paddock Pass from Yukon, Oklahoma, here's the voice of the PCSRA, Daniel Voiles.
Remind me to give me some amazing, awesome espresso as far as that's concerned. So, yeah. So, before we get to our national anthem, as I had to write that down. Before we start our national anthem, I just got a few announcements before we get started and all that. This is regarding about next month. Now, I was thinking about, I was going to think about doing the special event for the December holiday, but then I realized in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, there's one event that I'm going to start doing a special event as far as that race is concerned. What race, you ask? It will be the Crown Royal Open that we're going to do in December. A time of when that's going to take place is yet to be determined. So, yeah. So, as you just heard the dryer going off in the background. So, we will try to figure out when that will take place. It may take place either December or in January, depending on the circumstances. But either way, we do hope you will join us for the action as far as that's concerned. And should be fun. Again, it will be the Crown Royal Open from Autodrome Chaudière, which I'm going to go get that track downloaded this Saturday. And I will put it in my track folder, and I'll also get some other tracks that I need to download and put it into my game, so that way we have everything all taken care of. So, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about that, please let me know on Discord as far as that's concerned. And with that said, please be outstanding for the national anthem of Qatar. As a stupid commercial has to interfere with. thank you to Qatar for playing the national anthem. And yeah, should be a lot of fun. So now that we got some of that deal taken care of, it will be a lot of fun. So yeah. All right. I'm actually gonna go solo today for the for Triple P today. So. Because right now I'm currently waiting word on Patrick Watson on what's going to happen to the drivers who are who will be given penalties as far as Coca-Cola is concerned. Then we'll go to our Mercy Orthopedics injury report, as that might be Jack. And that is probably Jack. Yep, that's Jack. Okay. Yeah, Jack's back from taking the guys to war. And when I say the guys, that is CJ, Steven, and Toby. To give you guys a little update, Daryl is currently in the hospital, and we do not know if he's going to be back, but I'll keep you posted on that situation. So, yeah. So that's one little note I need to point out so far. So, and I want to point something out. The Gen 7 testing, the Gen 7 testing at Charlotte is going on. Austin Dillon crashed in the opening minutes of practice, so that really sucks. So, yeah, it's really going to be exciting. We'll talk about some news and notes regarding about the news with Brad Keselowski and Roush Fenway Racing. We'll discuss that. We're going to recap the race weekend from Brazil and Sydney. Get through all the news and notes and all that good stuff. And get caught up on some things and all that. We have Sydney 4, and we also have Qatar, which, by the way, if you can tell from the national anthem, that's where F1 is at, as we are in the Middle Eastern Tour, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. It's going to be a very good one. So. And that's Jack. So, yeah. And also we have some news to talk about as far as the F1 news that came out yesterday. So, should be interesting to see. All right. So with that said, not sure if we're going to have any panelists to come in. I mean, Cody's made predictions. Speaking of predictions, let me see who has not made predictions. Cody has made predictions. Ormy made predictions. I've made my predictions. So the only people we're waiting on is Taylor and Brendan. Brendan's getting ready to make his predictions in a bit. So, yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, because there's like 18 drivers currently in the big orange truck right now, currently having a discussion. They just got done with the showers and all that. So let's see. Oh yeah, I have my drinks and all that over here with me, so yay. Alright, so let me finish up with somebody's predictions, and then I'll need Taylor to get his predictions to me. So, yeah. So. Alright. Alright, so let's kick off. We're going to start with the top 10 results from the, there's supercars, and then I need to get to the F1 discussion. So, yeah. Alright, F1. Okay, no, I just want F1 by itself. There. So, alright. So the top 10 results for supercars for the races, as we're now getting ready to start recapping. For race number 1, there we go. Top 10 results for race 1. Antoine de Pascal won, which is a surprise. SVG 2nd, Will Brown 3rd, Jamie Whincup 4th, Brody Kostecki 5th, Scott Pye 6th, Will Davidson 7th, Zane Goddard 8th, 9th, Tim Slade, Andre Himgardner complete the top 10. Can anybody still hear me? Let me double check my mic before I forget to go on. Yep, you guys can hear me. Cool, I just want to make sure. For race number 2, Antoine de Pascal won again, so there you go. Jamie Whincup 2nd, SVG 3rd, Chaz Mostert 4th, Will Davidson 5th, Mark Winterbottom 6th, Nick Percat 7th, 8th, Brody Kostecki 9th, Bryce Fullwood, and Zane Goddard complete the top 10. And for race 3, Will Brown won, so no sweep for Pascal, but he took 203 nevertheless. Jamie Whincup 2nd, 3rd was SVG, so another podium for Shane Van Gisbergen, the soon-to-be champion, the way things are looking for him. Nick Percat 4th, Todd Hazelwood 5th, Scott Pye 6th, Cameron Waters 7th, Chaz Mostert 8th, Antoine de Pascal 9th. Jacques LeBlanc completes the top 10. Then we go to the F1 race for the Grand Prix of Brazil, the first Brazilian GP since 2019. And no, I'm not saying the Sao Paulo Grand Prix because that's too corny. Lance Stroll had a problem with his car. He had to drop out of the race, same with Daniel Ricciardo. In the qualifying, Lewis Hamilton was excluded from qualifying for an incident, and by the way, more on Hamilton later on, was excluded from qualifying because he had the DRS wing open too much. Max Verstappen was fined €50,000, which was $57,000 US, for touching Lewis Hamilton's car in Parc Fermé. Lewis Hamilton had to start at the back of the grid. He charged all the way up to 5th, had to take a 5 grid spot penalty for a new power unit, which he started 10th, and he ended up winning the race as a result to do damage limitations. The top 10 results for the F1 race was Lewis Hamilton the winner, Max Verstappen 2nd, Valtteri Bottas 3rd, Sergio Perez 4th, Charles Leclerc 5th, Carlos Sainz 6th, Pierre Gasly 7th, Esteban Ocon 8th, 9th Fernando Alonso, yours complete the top 10. Supercars, I give the whole weekend an 8.5, so there we go in that respect. Cody's like, Brendan, bruh. Yes, so. Yeah. So, let's get right into the top story news. Got a lot of news to cover here this morning. Starting with the big announcement that came out yesterday. Oscar Pistrati, F2 driver, will be a reserve driver for Alpine in F1 next year, so he will remain in F2 while being a reserve driver for F1 starting next year, so that would be nice. His goal is to try to get a seat for 2023. Cody's like saying bruh all the time. So anyway, so that's a big congratulations to him. To Alfa Romeo, the big news that happened yesterday morning, Antonio Giovinazzi announced he is leaving Alfa Romeo at the end of this year. Guan Yu Zhou will be replacing him at Alfa Romeo to join Valtteri Bottas next year, marking the first Chinese driver in Formula One history to run a full season. Of course, Guan Yu Zhou took part in Free Practice 1 in Austria, so that's good for him. So good luck to Guan Yu Zhou. Antonio Giovinazzi will be moving over to Formula E to join Penske in that organization next season. So it sucks. It sucks to see Antonio Giovinazzi leave Alfa Romeo and F1, but I do wish him good luck in Formula E. Maybe he can finally win a race for once and show us what he's capable of doing, which is having a winning car. Because like Jackie Tang said, you can suck in F1, but in other categories, if you win races, now you've proven what you can do. So, oh man. So, yeah. We'll see how Antonio Giovinazzi, of course, he's going to be teammates with Sergio Sette Camera. It is for Dragon Penske Autosports, which that is big news, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. Of course, work's still going on with the Saudi Arabian track. We just got the track, by the way, on Monday, so there you go. So that's good. Trying to see. Kirkwood will be running AJ Ford's number 14 Chevrolet, which is really good for him. Jimmy Johnson will take part, has been confirmed, to run a 5th car for Team Penske in the Indy 500 next season. So, yeah. Let me check something real quickly, because something tells me my job's already been disqualified for the other holiday. And when I say the other holiday, they're still showing a movie from the October holiday. Let me double check to make sure. Other holiday, Harkins. I just want to say this to my job. Why in the flipping world are we still showing the October holiday movie, you derping grandmas? I just love how my job is still showing the October holiday movies. Like, why are we still showing the October holiday movie, you derping hyenas? Oh my god. It's like, work, can you please show something? Oh yeah, the Tuesday night classics at work are showing the December holiday. Alright, I just told Cody what I just said. um, in all seriousness, I don't know why we're still having the October holiday movie at work and all that, yada yada yada. But, um, and the December holiday. Now, when we get to December, we can get away on saying that, but they're going to start getting some more points for the December holiday, so yeah. Jerame Donley has joined GMS Racing to crew chief. Ty Dillon, 94 team in the team's inaugural season in the Cup Series, so that's really good. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, I think that's it for the top story news, as we are waiting to hear a decision from as we're still waiting on the penalties for the Reese's drivers. So, and I will put the official points when I get done with this, so that way I can figure out who's getting what penalty. So. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, that's pretty much it for the top story news. Other than I'm still waiting to hear word on the officials, the Reese's officials, on the penalties, which, by the way, they're starting to write down the penalties for me, so that's good news. So, I should have a full penalty report as far as that is concerned. Speaking of the Reese's Pro Series, we just got done racing we just got done racing, and Kyle Langland, by the way, won the race at Coca-Cola, so congratulations to him. So Kyle Langland won the race in Division 4 in the main event. Michelle Conrad won the caution-free part-time race at Coca-Cola, which I got that done today. Megan Jones won Division 2, and Division 1 was won by Zachary Taylor. Zachary Taylor's second career Reese's Pro Series win and his first of 2022. Championship leader Ann Maria had a rough day, but somehow finished the race, and she will keep the points lead. Reese's Pro will be at the Maxwell Center in 2 weeks' time. And I'll have to figure out I got to figure out who's going to be who might have to be put on, who's going to probably be suspended and all that good stuff. So, yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and, so yeah, there's going to be some cars that are going to be penalized and sent to the back of the grid for the next race. Which, by the way, I'm going to get the qualifying roster ready to go, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, don't have any NR reports and all that. Of course, Winston ended their tenure in NASCAR on this day today. If you didn't know that. So, yeah, there's going to be some drivers for causing an incident under yellow. So, there we go. Somebody's going to be slapped with a suspension, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. So, that said in mind, we're going to go ahead and look ahead. While I'm currently working on the penalties, let's preview Qatar and our next race weekend. That would be Qatar and Sydney. Well, Sydney, we already know what to expect and all that, yada, yada, yada. Qatar! This is the first time we've ever previewed Qatar on this channel. Of course, we'll preview it in two years from now. Because this is a one-off for 2021. 2023 will be the first time we will preview this race, you know, unless something changes between now and next for 2022. Not sure what to expect about this race. Should be a really interesting race. 57 laps. Not sure how the tires will do on a MotoGP circuit. And so it's kind of a bit of an unknown, but if what we saw at Bahrain was any indication earlier this year, we will be in for a classic race nevertheless. So, yeah, it should be interesting. So, that said, we're going to go straight into predictions. Of course, you know the routine. Driver to win, driver to stay away from, and dark horse. Since Qatar is one of two new tracks on the calendar, it will be 2 points each for the point standings. So there you go. And all that good stuff. So let's take a look at the global standings as we enter this weekend's race at entering this weekend. Before we are off, and I'll explain more on that when we get to this week's upcoming stuff. Cody Smart has extended his lead. He is at 771. I'm in second place with 644. Zachary Taylor is at 573. Nathan Orman at 512. Brendan Rogers 129, and go forth at 77. So yeah. So here are the predictions we have as of right now. For myself, My driver to win, I took SVG. My driver to stay away from, Cameron Waters. My dark horse, Antoine De Pascal. For F1, I have taken Lewis Hamilton, driver to win. Driver to stay away from, Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen as the dark horse. Cody and I flip-flopped our driver to win and dark horse. Which, more than likely, I'm going to try to do damage limitations so far. Speaking of Cody Smart, he has Antoine De Pascal as driver to win. Okay, here's something ironic. Cody and I swapped our driver to win and dark horses for supercars in F1. I kind of find that really funny, so. But anyway, he took Antoine De Pascal as driver to win, dark horse. Driver to stay away from will be Michaeli Jones. For F1, Max Verstappen as driver to win, Lewis Hamilton, dark horse. Driver to stay away from is Antonio Giovinazzi. For Nathan Orman, he took Will Davidson, driver to win. Driver to stay away from Antoine De Pascal, Jamie Whincup, the dark horse. Then F1, we have Valtteri Bottas, driver to win. Surprising there. Driver to stay away from Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz, the dark horse. Brendan Rodgers has Jamie Whincup, driver to win. SVG, driver to stay away from Todd Hazelwood, the dark horse. And then F1, Lando Norris, driver to win. Driver to stay away from Lewis Hamilton. Dark horse, Carlos Sainz. So, yeah. So, yeah. And then everybody's slapping their head on there, so, yeah. So, should be a very good one in that sense. Final thoughts before I'm going to go ahead and read the penalties before we get to me putting a bow on this show. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Got a couple of suspensions I'm going to point out. So, yeah, somebody's going to get a massive suspension in the process, so. So, yeah. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming events. I haven't heard if Elijah is going to be doing 11 o'clock between now and the end of the year. I don't know what's up with that. We're also supposed to have a chat with him whenever that comes around, so we don't know when that's going to be final. What we do know is that this week's upcoming events, we have a special event coming out next Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Unfortunately, I will not be able to join you guys in the chat because I will be at work, because in case y'all don't know this and all that. I have to be at work because of the fact that my job has a tendency to not let me have the flippin' holidays off. And that's annoying as hell, if you know what I mean. But, so yeah, it was really stupid so far. Yeah. In that regard, so yeah. So next Thursday will be a 3 p.m. Eastern time race from Hillside. Not sure what time Stephen Cologne's going to do his Thanksgiving race, but I do know my coverage will start at 3 Eastern time for the Thanksgiving 250. So hope you'll join us at Hillside. Should be a very exciting race nevertheless. That's a look at this week's upcoming events, brought to you by Kim K Coach Lines, the official motor coach carrier of the PCSRA. Visit kimkcoach.com to learn more. As far as looking at this week's upcoming PCSRA awesome events, show-wise, we are off next week. There is no show next week because we do not have anything to recap, or excuse me, anything as far as global is concerned for next week. So next week is an off week, which is nice and how fitting. Next week is Thanksgiving, and we are going to be off next week. So that's a fair way to say it. I think we can all agree we'll take it as far as that's concerned. 2 weeks from today, we'll recap Sydney and Qatar, and we will look ahead to the Bathurst 1000 and the penultimate race weekend at Saudi Arabia, if that track is going to be available in time for F1 and F2. So we'll keep you up to date on what will happen. Yeah, so we're going to have to check. So yeah. Should be interesting, if you know what I mean, because I don't know if it's going to, like I said, so yeah. We'll have to wait and see as far as that's concerned. So again, 2 weeks from today will be Triple P. Next week is a holiday weekend. We will be off and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's a look at this week's upcoming PCSRA racing events. Brought to you by Subway Fresh, proud sponsor Chloe Bumgarner, number 84 Audi RS8. This little news article says, according to some people, it should be done. The track should be done by the time we get to Saudi Arabia, so that'll be fun. There's 27 corners, which is a lot of corners. A lot of mixed corners. I've done some testing on that track. It should be some good racing, nevertheless. So we're definitely looking forward to that. So, yeah. Currently working on the penalties right now to see who is going to get what. So, yeah, that's going to be good. So, yeah. It's supposed to be, let's check the weather real quickly, in our area. It's currently 54 degrees. It's supposed to be in the 70s today. Or no, that's Oklahoma weather. It's supposed to be in the 50s all day today. 54 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Yeah, we're supposed to be in the upper 50s. 57 for a high today. Tonight we're going to dip down into the 30s, a low of 34. And then high tomorrow of 55. It's going to be windy Friday. The weekend is supposed to be in the 60s, which is very nice. It is currently 54 here on the Blue Hedgehog TV as far as that is concerned. So, yeah. Trying to think what else is going to be fun. Of course, the NASCAR Champions Week is also going to be in a couple of weeks at Nashville. Of course, they didn't celebrate that last year due to COVID concerns. And, yeah. So, trying to see, yeah. This is going to be really a fun one. So, oh, hi, Sean. So, yeah. So, it's really going to be interesting. Oh, one little note I need to pass along before we go. A couple of things I forgot to mention. TJ Majors will spot for Brad Keselowski next year. Matt McCall has car chief Nick Casse, engineers Jonathan Branzell, Josh Sells, mechanics Jonathan Ellis and Matthew House from Ganassi with him. Changes Steve Price and Johnny Roberts also joining the 6th team as far as that's concerned. Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton will be back next season. The other two drivers are TBA, and Kurt Busch got a charter from Starcom, who ceased operations. So Kurt Busch is locked in the show. So that is good news, to tell you the truth. So yeah. And we have hit the top of the hour. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves. This is PCSRA. This is Triple P from Learfield. Blue Hedgehog FM and Blue Hedgehog HD, Oklahoma City. Blue Hedgehog Radio Network, a product of the PCSRA. Vote the Blue Hedgehog your greatest announcer in sports. As we're getting ready to wrap up the broadcast, and I'll start a VC as soon as I get everything done and situated as far as that is concerned. As we close the broadcast, we want to say I have to say, we want to say my condolences go out to one of my friends in the NSCRA, Cole Deaver, who lost a family member. We're praying, we're thinking about you, Cole. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and hopefully you can stay strong as far as that's concerned. So we're thinking about you, Cole Deaver, and we're also thinking about your brother, and we're praying for you. So that's what we're going to say. So yeah. The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is a proud sponsor of OU Athletics and Triple P all season long. Same with the IMSA podcast, and wants to remind you that drinking and driving is deadly and illegal. Together we can end DUI. Visit endyok.com to learn more. One more little note I need to pass along. Kyle Larson's girlfriend becomes the first family member to have a husband and their brother win a championship in the same year, which is very an awesome accomplishment, if you know what I mean so far. Special thanks to a lot of people and a lot of Nathan Orman, Zachary Taylor, Cody Smart, Kyle Langland, Sean Art, David Heller, Great Lakes, all of our amazing friends. Our statistician, Caleb Hobbs, producer Hawkins, Dennis Stats Kelly, Tom Shores, Greg Rutz, Prue Granger, Lucky Prescott, Abigail Stone, all of our amazing friends. Daniel Anderson running the show for us back at our PCSRA Network studios. Final score, one final time in Waco, Texas on a Saturday afternoon in a disappointing loss. It was Greg Rutz and Baylor 27 and OU 14. Until 2 weeks from today, when we recap Qatar and Sydney 4, get you caught up on all the news and notes and what happened between now and then, and all that great stuff. And we look ahead to the biggest motorsports race in history, the season finale of Supercars, the Bathurst 1000, the great race, as well as the penultimate race weekend at Saudi Arabia. So until 2 weeks from today, my friends, this is Daniel Vole saying, Happy Thanksgiving! And Boomer Sooner, everybody!
On the PCSRA Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, PCSRA Paddock Pass has been brought to you by Budweiser, Love's Travel Stops, iHeartMedia, The Oklahoman, Newcastle Casino, Devon Energy, Sonic Drive-Ins, and by the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office, where we encourage all of you fans that together we can end DUI. Thanks for joining us for the PCSRA Paddock Pass Show. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation on the PCSRA Sports Network. Copyright 2021 by the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues and the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association Incorporates.